In the day of Tisha B'Av, it is customary not to greet, and so I am not doing the usual greeting of Motzei Shabbos at the beginning of the video. Also, I am pre-recording it prior to Tisha B'Av. However, the content is related to the concept of Churban, of destruction, and so I am relating the story. It's story number 36 of the Shivchei Baal Shem Tov, and the story happens to be called Churban Balta, the destruction, the ruin of the city of Balta. The city of Balta is a small city that is west of Odessa in southern Ukraine. At the time was still within the kingdom of Poland, where the Baal Shem Tov lived. Says the author of the book, Shivchei Baal Shem Tov, Shamati mipi chamav shel Rabbi Folk HaKohen. I heard from the mouth, meaning I heard it being told by the father-in-law of Rabbi Folk HaKohen, the Chassid Rav Shmerel, the Magid Misharim of the Keila of Verchivki, whatever that is, that once the Baal Shem Tov spent Shabbos in the community, in the whole community of Balta. And he said that the city would be destroyed once, and then it would be rebuilt. It would stand, it would be a house of Jews, a community. The city of Balta would be a house of Jews, and it would stand until the coming of the Redeemer of Mashiach. Bimheira v'yameinu amen. May that happen soon in our days, amen. The Rav of our community, meaning Rav Yaakov Yosef of Polonoi, explained how is it that this was said. In the city of Balta, there were the city was full of merchants, of non-Jewish merchants, Ishmaelim and Kedar, meaning the Turks. There were Muslims, I call Ishmaeli, and the Kedarites. It refers to the Turks, meant to the Tatars, different ethnicities that lived in the area, and also Sharia Umos, and also the other peoples that lived in there. And these merchants were in a rush, were moving, were making a big bilbul. They were traveling in their wagons pulled by horses in a great hurry, and making a lot of noise and confusing the Baal Shem Tov, who was trying to give over a Davar Torah that day at the time of Shalishis, of the third meal of Shabbos afternoon. They so confused the Baal Shem Tov that the Baal Shem Tov stood and said, Ma lecho Balti, what is this to you, Balti? Where are you? Where is your chatzir? Where is your yard going to grow? And then he gave an explanation. Like, I think the expression is, where are you rushing to? That wherever the city is rushing to its destruction. So says the author, Shamati Rav Shmerel, and it's Karla Ail. I heard from Rav Shmerel mentioned above. Oh no, Rav Yaakov Yosef of Polino says that he's heard from Rav Shmerel. That once, well, a year before the big Breicha, the big escape, there's a bit more of a note here. The Breicha in this context means that the year of the big attack of the Haidamach Cossacks, 1768, what happens? The year before this big Breicha, the attack of the Haidamachs. And then there was the big milchama, the big war between Ishmael and Yavan, between the descendants of the Ishmaelim, meaning the Turks, the Muslims, and the descendants of the Greeks, the heirs of the Greeks, which is the Russians. And the city above mentioned, the city of Balta, was destroyed, and all its surroundings, and the city of Tisha and all the towns that were around. And there was nothing left in Balta except for a small house that belonged to a non-Jew. And in Shivchei there were two big houses left with Jews. And there was such a tumult around the city of Balta that little house that was left was not visible from around. It was like hid by the rubble. And that's the story. It ends there. The city of Balta was destroyed, like the Baal Shem Tov said. It's not mentioned in this book, but when the Russians conquered the area, the big emperors of the Russians, Catherine the Great, would gather the people from the nearby villages and rebuild the city of Balta. The city of Balta continues to exist until today. In World War II, the Jews of Balta were gathered in a ghetto, in a forced labor area, and many were shot. There was a massive shooting. However, unlike many other areas in Ukraine, the city was not declared Judenrein, was not declared free of Jews. The Jews survived, were left there. There is some story how the Judenrat of Romania, the Jewish council under the Nazis of Romania, managed to bribe to prevent the complete elimination of the Jews of Balta. So the Jews continued to live in the city of Balta even through the war. In one moment, 1944, when the Soviet army was counterattacking and the Germans were destroying everything that they left behind, so that it was basically scorched land as a payback to the Russians, they surrounded the city of Balta on three fronts. They were going to massive attack to destroy it, and they were not able to get in. The Russian army came too fast and the Germans had to leave, so the city of Balta was left untouched in the war, in World War II, and there were Jews who survived in that city. So what the Baal Shem Tov said, that there would be a city of dwelling Jews, surprisingly, even to the worst of times, continued to happen. And as far as I have been able to tell, the city of Balta still stands today. And so is the story of the Churban Balta, the city that the Baal Shem Tov said would be destroyed, but then would be rebuilt and stand. It is our hope that now that the temple, the Bet HaMikdash, was destroyed, we should see it rebuilt, experience, be inside, and stand with it, this time forever.